Hello, beautiful ones, and welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to see you here today because today I am sharing my 2-year level up journey update with you. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Really quickly, in the case that you are new here, I want to give you a welcome. My name is Leisha, and I have been documenting my personal level up journey now here on YouTube since 2020. I have been sharing my transformation from broke beach bum into feminine, elegant, and affluent woman. So if you'd like to join along with me, I typically upload once a week, usually on Sundays, and I would love to see you. Please subscribe. Okay, so let's jump in. The first thing that I wanted to share, of course, is just a little bit of a reflection for those of you who maybe are newer to the channel. I have done videos each year, and I had even done a video the first 6 months of my transformation when I was going through Secrets of the Elite Woman. And so I will link those videos down in the description below. But I did want to start out by just giving a phrase to sum up my first year of leveling up. If I had to give it one simple phrase, I would have to say that it was a glow up year. It was setting the foundation that year. And what that meant for me was that I feel like I focused on the grooming habits, and I found a good skincare routine. I found my hair routine. I even went through I went through a lot of purging from my closet because my clothing was overall just very extremely casual. Side story, my yoga teacher, she's from the UK, and she gave us a story over the summer about her relatives visiting and labeling the way that the people in my area dress as scruffy. As in, we just are very casual. We don't wear a lot of tailored clothing or even iron that clothing when we do. And so that is the description of my previous style to a T. Scruffy, but comfortable. And so that's where I've been. And in that year, I also worked very hard on my career along with my husband, because just the nature of leveling up requires you to increase your income, increase your resources, both financially but also with your knowledge. And so I buckled down from 2020 to 2021. I started in August of 2020. So that's just how I would briefly describe the first year. Now, this past year, of course, I want to give that a phrase to sum it up, and then I'll dive into many more details and some things that I'm proud of and some challenges that I had. So if I had to sum up this past year of leveling up on my journey, I would definitely say it has been like a rebirth and maybe reset even. And the reason why I say that is because I became a mother in December of 2021. And I took a nice long maternity leave of 3 months from both my job, my career, and from YouTube. And in that time frame, I started out just getting some footing. It was survival mode at its finest. I had set myself up, so that I could do my best to feel elegant each day. I knew from doing a lot of research and educating myself on motherhood what I thought it would be like, and so I did my best to prepare. However, I fell into postpartum depression, and that was just something that, although I was very, very much intently focused on working with a therapist and making sure that I was having, some support and setting boundaries the best I could, it was still unavoidable for me. Now, it could have been much worse, and I did share my story with postpartum depression. So if you would like to view that, I do have it linked as well in the description below. However, I think that, to give it a visual sort of, I became like a phoenix sort of rising from some ashes, or trying to come up from what almost could have been ashes. And it felt like such a very dark time trying to adjust to motherhood. Now, the rest of the year, I would say about around springtime, when my daughter was 4 months or so old, that's when I became much more sure of myself with motherhood, and I could start to form some sort of routine again, not not a schedule, but get back into my routines and habits and sort of continue to find my way. After all, I did go back to my job at that time, and that was where I thought I was headed for the rest of the year. Little did I know that was not at all how I was going to end up. And so ultimately, thanks to a lot of the work that I had done in the first year, I was able to move on and focus on working for a client of mine full time and being able to do that from home. My husband also kept increasing his income through job promotions and even took better job opportunities. And thankfully, we're sitting here now where, although this has just been it feels like everything has been turned upside down since having my daughter in a way, but in a good way. I couldn't be more thankful for having that foundation set, earlier on in my level up journey. And so I can truly say that if you're working towards a goal right now, everything you're doing, all of the little things, they do add up, and they can be done as quickly as you want them to be done, or you can take it slow and take the scenic route for a little while. And so that's where I'm at for the rest of this year. I think, being a new mother, and I'm stepping more into the, primary care provider role for my daughter. That is something that I never pictured being a part of my journey, but it is. And I do want to say that while I was taking in so much advice about motherhood and wanting to continue to be successful and do it all, I think that you truly may not know how you're going to live your life as a mother until you actually become one. And so that is, again, that's why I just labeled this past year a rebirth and a reset almost. So I think that as it relates to my goals and where I'm headed, I've accepted and I have settled into doing things on a slower basis. I am in a place now and over this past year where I've realized that there have to be some boundaries, and I think there's nothing more feminine and nothing that creates a happier woman more than being confident in your boundaries and being able to truly focus on and know even what matters to you. So if you are feeling like you're in a bit of a reset and a rebirth for yourself right now on your journey, you've been through some challenges, you're going through some things that are maybe not going the way you thought they would, trust me, your perspective on that and your decision as a woman to just set boundaries and embrace going a little bit slower for a while is not a bad thing. And that is resiliency. That is truly what I feel like leveling up is all about, right? It's not just like what I focused on in my first year, the glow up, right? Leveling up is not just the glow up. It is so much more than that. And so, here I am about to go into 2023, year 3, and I feel like some of the things I plan to focus on are going to be changing. So I had thought, for example, that I would be stepping up higher in my career, and right now that is sort of on hold for me so that I can spend more time with my family and focus on being the mother and wife that I want to be. I'm very clear on that right now. I'm very clear on wanting to support my husband and, of course, be an excellent mother to my daughter and create just a beautiful home for her to flourish in. So that is where I am, and that's where I've been, I think, for the past year or so, of year 2 of my level up journey. Now, some things that I'm also really excited about, I didn't want to start out with this, but I'm excited that we finally did upgrade our car. And I did this earlier right before we had our daughter. So it was just one of the things that I felt so proud to walk into the dealership and get the car that I had been wanting for 2 years and have an excellent credit score, and it just be a very smooth and amazing process. It felt so good. And so I'll share a few clips here. If you remember, maybe earlier on in my journey, I shared, I think maybe more over on Instagram, that we have had our cars, they've been paid for all throughout our marriage. And we were even, once we joined the country club, we were even pulling up in our 2006 Honda Civic, a little bit beat up, but still kept up. And that's just what we did so that we could work towards some of those financial goals that we had and focus a little bit more around that. And so I will say that, through some times where maybe I looked around me and she was sitting right there next to some beautiful Mercedes and BMW vehicles, I can truly say that it was worth it. And it just felt like such a wonderful accomplishment as well, to be able to bring my daughter home from the hospital and her be safe and riding in that beautiful new vehicle. So we ended up with a Range Rover Evoque, and I just love it. It makes me so happy to ride in that car. And we still have the Honda Civic, and my husband uses that as his golf mobile now. And it's great. It's the perfect balance, I feel like. And so that is one sort of more materialistic goal that we had in upgrading our vehicle, but also it was a little bit about the safety too. Actually, a lot about the safety, because my daughter, she needs to be in a safe vehicle. We feel very strongly about that, and especially my husband. So that has been a really wonderful thing. I'm very grateful that we were able to do that this past year too. So I guess I'll close out by just also mentioning where I want to take the next year. I'm very careful with saying specifics now, because I know that motherhood is going to have so many twists and turns, and that's been one of the biggest challenges, I think, for me, is that it's hard to plan around my daughter's needs. I do my best. We have rhythms, and I'm always going to prioritize her over what I feel like maybe is, I don't know, a trivial matter, right? But I do have rhythms that I stick to. And so I've got rhythms to make sure that I stay in my grooming habits every day, to make sure that I am doing some self-care, that I am still learning and keeping up my skills, and that, I'm able to work in my business a little bit every week. And so that's going to be something that I'm going to continue to work on, I think, just as I explore what it means to be a mother, because she's about to turn 1, and I know that every stage now is just going to bring its changes, and I will be ready for them, hopefully, as ready as I can be. So again, to close out this video, I am excited about 2023. I have decided that I am going to be going through a book at the beginning of the year. So I'm going to be refreshing some of my knowledge and taking action around, I'm feeling more led towards some of the femininity aspects, and perhaps even, I don't know, I'm looking at etiquette too a little bit, because I really need to get out and start socializing with some other mothers and families. And we are actually almost done with our deck, so I've got a little break here today. I want to start hosting more. I want to start building a bit of a social network that is, I guess, focused around mothers, and working on some friendships with some mothers. And I want to explore that with some extra knowledge. I think that in the past, I have been a little bit of, I've been a little bit more hesitant, and I've had a lot of, friends that come along with my husband's networking aspects. And so I want to start doing my part this year. I want to build some better relationships in real life, and that's very important to me. Another thing that I want to continue to focus on is our finances, and my husband and I are going to be working towards, I think, potentially some real estate things, and we're trying to decide what we're going to do with this home. I'm not sure if it is feeling too small for us yet or just how that is going to look for us. We want to be prepared either way. So that is really exciting. I mean, we've gotten the deck almost finished here. We're going to start working on the kitchen, I think. We've been working on my daughter's room, and we've redone several of the closets and made them, I think, nice enough for the amount of time I think we're going to spend in this home. So that could be something coming next year in my level up journey, and I look forward to that and try not to worry too much about it. So that's going to conclude my 2-year level up journey update for now. Let me know down in the comments below this video, what are some things that you want to see in the next year, 2023. I am going to be, like I said, I think going through a book and sharing my experience trying to live it out, what I think, maybe kind of go through a course even. So if you have suggestions for what you'd like to see, please leave it down in the description below. I would love to give you some thoughts and reviews on the resources that are out there for ladies to help them along in their level up journey. But again, I want to thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for being here with me this past year of just my reset, my rebirth. Let me tell you, I could not have made it just as easily out of that place without your support and your encouragement. This is why, I love being able to share here on YouTube. And I don't know if I'm going to be on YouTube forever, but I, for now, just really enjoy being able to sit down and share, what is I think truly important, and why, I want to inspire other women to go on a level up journey. And with that being said, have a lovely rest of your week. I will see you again very soon. Bye.